Okay, so from the people that do have this radar or the scanners, this is my answer to the scanner indicator trade system that is definitely something you could run in the background. But I don't know if you're going to really get the trade frequency that, there's at least one or good trades, one or two, three good trades a week. Just on the daily stop hunt, just getting in these extreme hot spots. And I just don't know why there's a fear there, but I guess if anybody's ever traded really large on a breakout that they consider to be a continuation of a downtrend or confirmation, that I just can't believe that there is not the stuff that people are filtering. Okay, that's for one robot, right? You have a no nonsense Forex goober bot that it's right sometimes. But in the real world of people that would own a prop house, they would have a scalper that's on crack. They'd have, not everybody's on the same page, or what's the fucking point, right? So maybe this guy's the extreme personality that kind of like, he's the exception that proves the rule. That, also he doesn't take you to the charts, so it's very annoying because I'm a visual person. Like, if I can't see something, I'm just gonna lose my mind. When you're throwing shit out there like, well, we have this baseline. If it's above your baseline, it's bullish. Okay, I see. Let me see if I understand this. I still I'm befuddled by his. I kind of see what he's doing, but I'm thinking, really? Is he really just doing that? Is it just Scientology? And I think in a 20 EMA, let me see if I can get another thing. In essence, unless his system is adaptive, is totally curve fitted to a certain scenario. So obviously, when those scenarios appear, that one trade plan should reap X. But he just revealed today his checklist. And I get the idea of a checklist. I guess that's why I don't like it. It's too organized for me. I'm thinking to myself, look at that thing right there. Like, wow, that thing's just cutting north on that dollar. Cat's just going to blow out that fucking top. Look at that bitch. Look at this dollar cat. I don't know. I guess I'm just too excited about the chart. Like, why isn't this no-nonsense Forex guy going, well, and why doesn't he just say fucking once, going, you know what, I'm going to block out the bottom of the fucking chart here. I'm not going to divulge my fancy indicators, but I'm going to show you exactly where I get in this currency pair. And why doesn't this guy just say, dude, this is a trade right now? Right now. You should have been in. What the fuck you do? You guys should have bought that fucking wick. I know, but everything was saying to me, and the cloud said blue, and you know how it is. We always buy on green and sell on blue. I mean, this rule list stuff, I mean, you cannot cling to that. I mean, I could cherry pick this indicator, and of course, on this time frame, it sucks dick. It's choppy. I get buy, sell. Yeah, you know what? If you built a system like this, some kind of filtered holy grail one-trick pony system that this guy has, it gets in at 1:40 p.m. It gets in the market. This gets go in the market, Let's not be concerned ourselves. And apparently he's running some insane stop of 300 pips, because I don't get it. Like, this is 100 pip price levels in black. Are you serious? I mean, what is his risk? He never says. Oh, got in this morning with a stop down here. Dude, we gobbled up all these fucking wicks all week long. We've been building a long position. It's crazy. Dude, we're expecting to take out these fuckers. How is he not trading reversals? It's got to be the easiest most best ratios on the planet. Why doesn't he buy here and dump into at least here with a stop here? Well, because when it was down here, he's like, it's going down. Told you it's going down. I'm going to move my trail and stop. Oh, fuck. And stop me out. Well, and of course, don't forget, his entry is this. If at the end of the day, it's up, he bought. Where could he possibly be buying this? I'm thinking this is where I can see no nonsense Forex trades. It's so funny. Somebody said that once, and I thought, yeah, I guess that's true. After a while, if you met somebody, you'd say, I bet I know where no nonsense Forex guy got in. Really? Can you tell me? Yeah. Big up bar here. Big fat confirmation. Dude, we are going up. But who was buying down here is what I want to know. Who's this guy? His risk is this. Goober's risk is this. His stop should be here logically from a standpoint of surviving this pullback. If he bought here and then he runs his trailing stop, okay, I guess he made money, right? And this is the other thing he considers, that if he did get in here and he run a trailing stop, he's literally riding a trade plan of X. He's riding these. If he buys here, he's going to get his head handed to him. But maybe that's too late for him. He's just waiting for a little bit of confirmation. But who is the guy buying this shit? Who? And then this is confirmation to hold, confirmation to add. You're adding here. You already did this trade plan. You know this fucking bullshit where it's at the edge. I can't believe it. We went up here. Didn't quite make it. I get that it didn't make it to here. This is why you're scaling in maybe a 50 pip range. This is 100 pips. If you're risking 100 pips a ticket, right, adds up quick. Also, your flexibility goes up. If you have a 100 pip stop, you can run. This guy's waiting for the end of the day. You went up, we get in. Fuck, tops become bottoms. Fuck that shit. I get that you don't perceive that as a valuable aspect of the trading world, is that you can make in one fucking day these many pips. Okay, I get that you don't like that trade. Not to mention the stop hunt. Holy shit, God. When we took this thing out, gee, I wonder why it went ripping. And this is closing prices, by the way. First place the trend traders are going to say, this is a lower swing down. This is a shorter pullback. I mean, anybody that knows momentum knows that when stuff starts to drift in Mother Nature, which is the Fibonacciist would claim the golden ratio is this thing, and that is what's propelling the market. The underlying hidden force. Well, that would be the base structure. The golden, if Fibonacci is true, and just not an exact, not that you could put it on the chart, but the idea that there's an ebb and flow. Like if you go to the beach, it's like 7 waves, and a lot of people put their charts on 7. People that believe that number. As soon as you start to go each increment, so this is a 4-period moving average. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 cloud system. I know I'm jumping around, but this is how it is. If you take this idea of getting in at any kind of white line down into this yellow-green, anytime there's a white line down into yellow-green, you hit the buy button. But how wide is the stop on that button? Let's say it's 100 pips. You could just out-trade the no-nonsense Forex guy with just closing prices and a 4-period moving average. Forget volume. But don't forget ATR, because if the market is coming down at 350 pips every 40 minutes, you may want to just step aside and go, this reminds me of the election. I traded the election on a demo, and you know what? The spread was vibrating like you couldn't get in. This is, dude, the market was vibrating like it was going to explode. This is if you watch the thing on the tick charts, you'd see that there's no way. You just, if you pulled the trigger at the market, 20 minutes later or 3 seconds later, it was just a completely different price. So how would you even think about, you'd have to, even if you had pendings out there, they had to be scattered. And once there was no, you could have rinsed and repeated the trades because the market was just slamming up and down, up and down, up and down. So if you've ever seen that kind of territory, then there's no way you could touch it with your trade plans if they involve, you'd have to have 300 pip stops. You literally have to take your plan up to this giant, you'd have to be like a big, low, in other words, you'd have to expand your entry window to 300 pips. And you could do it. And if you looked at the daily charts like this with a 100 pip grid, it's really obvious that if you just said, I'm going to buy at the 100 when we get back there, how many times did you make money with that trade? You could have ratios of risk 1 to make 4 on a rinse and repeat basis with no confirmation, other than the fact the market is down 50 pips. Oh, dollar CAD's down 50 pips. I think I'll buy some of that. And then I'll put a buy limit another 50 pips deep and I'll walk away. What if that's all you ever fucking did? I mean, this guy with the no nonsense has this fucking chalkboard. Well, did I wake up in the morning? Okay, this is my, if I'm going to do this, if I was going to do 28 pairs like he's doing, I would just say, I got a one-click script. I'm going to click every chart. He's spending 15 minutes. I would just go chart to chart and go boom, boom, boom. I would just have all the charts up. Right, arrange all charts here. Let me see if I can do it here. I don't think it's going to show me any. I got too many charts. I put up so much shit in this one broker. It's insane. If I tile windows here, yeah, you can't see nothing. So that's not good. Here's my a dollar yen scalp here. So here we just went from you had to plan these trades out the day before. So this is my buy window, I said. And we never made it to here. Okay, somebody just asked me about martingale. Okay, yeah, I would martingale in, but it's not, I guess my definition of martingale is just adding to a loser, but adding more to the loser. I don't know if that's martingale, but what I'm saying is that if I buy here, which I already knew I wanted to buy there because I knew that as soon as we went below this line, here's my line of utter disaster. This is the kill zone. Okay, this is what people talk about, the kill zone. You want to buy in the kill zone. Okay, you want all your big tickets to be here, so you're going to buy more here if we make it there. This is the 1 hour dollar yen. This was an easy, almost full engulf, but look at where it stops. Gee, that's kind of weird. So in Asia, you could have got on the short train with your breakout strategy. So this is how you would make money trading if you could trade and be awake 24 hours a day. Just no cloud here. This is going to just be pure price dynamics of entry. What do you know about this last bar? And this is just this is as basic as you could. There's nothing more powerful than crude, vulgar systems. Okay, just this is it. Your trade plan. You're up to bat. If the bar is giving you at the end of the bar, at the end of that time period, you are in a low range. You better get on the stick and put a fucking trade plan in. You're missing money. I'm not saying you have to be in the market the whole time. your breakout bot, your low volatility breakout bot, needs to get in this fucking candle. You should be able to show this to a child and say, show me a small bar. Now, granted, here, you've been trapped and whipsawed, right? Now, if you really want to really trade your ass off and work really, really hard, you're also going to be running, if you believe this is going down, you have to have some thought about what's going on right now. Did you just buy this? I would have. That is a dumb shit, easy trade. You're buying new lows. No, you're not going to buy 40 standard lots. What are you doing? So, here you go, right? Some people are going to wait till here. This is a 10-pip grid, by the way, so you got to trade really fucking big. Well, now the spread matters. The bigger you trade on this 1-hour chart, the more the spread matters. So this goes on and on and on, and the jobs report's coming out this morning. Thursday morning is always kind of the end of the week. In other words, another thing about these markets is, if it's smashing down, I am literally going to buy into that with a 100-pip stop. Probably, I'd have to put it on a different account, though, right? I couldn't lay in bed and I don't think I'd want to it'd have to be a different tablet that I knew was for the yen only. You'd have to have it dedicated. So, to be truly organized, because this could get away from you, getting involved in too many, that's why I guess you're using these scanners, right? You're just looking for these blanket criteria. That is the no-nonsense Forex way. You have scanners, and then you can look at it and think, oh, you know what? This indicator looks like it's starting to ripen up, and this is when you are trading your indicators like they're little, in other words, the lag is the charm, so to speak. This is why people will defend an indicator, or the way it interprets price, or the way it kind of is a springboard for moves. Of course, when the market does rip into the long-term, okay, so this idea of a baseline that you're above it, okay, that's kind of goes against the ultimate trade, which is when your 20 EMA, I suppose this is what he's talking about, the price is above or below. Now that's a whole nother thing, because if it's a real strong uptrend and the moving average is nicely angled up, and the market rips down very hard and spikes through that and is below the baseline, that is when you're loading the fucking wagon. If you all hands on deck, because just in the first, depending on the velocity of this thing, if it's going down in 4 hours or 4 minutes, that's a little different, And of course, that would matter too. So everything matters. And of course, I guess this is what I'm astounded at, is that people are going to, okay, I get the idea. You built an algorithm that runs on the daily chart, you curve fitted it, but not every currency is setting up properly. So really, if you did build this amazing indicator bot, you're going to have to run it on the weeklies, because sometimes it runs on the weeklies better than it runs. Because if the market's noisy on the daily, you have to go to the weekly. But now the weekly is like, there's no setup there. So having this checklist on the daily, okay, there's volume here, there's there, but unless you keep changing the settings to fit the dynamics of the market, it's better to just say, I trade the 4-period moving average, and now I have to go and find where this curve fits, and it may be the monthly chart. And that's when you'd realize that, oh, look at this thing in the monthly. But then what you really realize is it's going to cost you 1,000 pip stop, or you may have to run 300 pip stops to make money on the monthly charts, even though it's the best fucking setup in the world. So if you are going to do this no nonsense forex thing, which I think is kind of fun, it's cute, but I just could never think like that. I mean, when I seen how the market responds at these things and how how breakout trading really does work, really can work, if you got the trade plan that fits that pip window of that pattern. That pattern on these insane pairs on the monthly, it would just be like painfully obvious what's going on. You're like, holy shit, look at this thing. And as it's crushing down on the monthly, you're thinking, oh my God, like fuck. Okay, just that window of crush. Now you would go down to maybe the daily chart, but then you still have to say, do I want to be in the market for 3 days or 3 months? I mean, on the monthly chart, it may look like paradise, but that would have meant that you're in that trade for 5 months and you're riding that whole price pulse. And for some people, they probably could do that. I would find it disturbing to see all the equity swings. I'm not into the car having going down a rough road if it's designed for smooth driving and it's just kind of a. Now, if it is one of these low frequency clunk bots and it's like, yeah, my criteria is met. Yeah, I know support and resistance doesn't exist. Yeah, okay, it doesn't have to for the indicator guide. This bottom becoming a top here. And the market's starting to roll over. The moving averages are probably just beautifully, the 20 EMAs just nailed it. Like you're rarely up into the downtrend and you get in at the market. And even the breakout bots are they're just like, wow, we can't wait to clean house this way, or we're going to clean house this way. And this is where the non-directional traders clean up. Because here, like, look at this after this big spike here at the end of the day. The next candle is very tiny, inside bar actually. So the inside bar bot's trading that. All these things are going on at once because there is some guy out there making money on the fucking limit system. There's a guy out there on the market order system. There's a guy on the stop order entry system. And those systems are making money. They're all coexisting at the same time in here. So are you going to, if you're going to enter at the market, okay, closing price matters. And what the no-nonsense Forex guy is saying, unless there is volume in that first price pulse, which could be wave 3, which is typically wave 3. Now, which you kind of want to be in before wave 3. He's getting in, it's up, it's above the baseline. I mean, this thing's already off to the races, but are we coming? Okay, the flaw is, are you riding wave 3? And now you got to wait for this painful consolidation that eventually you will make X in this if you stay in and do what you're supposed to do. I just feel like I'm being trapped in a trade. Like, yeah, she looked good on paper. I mean, you should have seen her profile online, and you should have seen the picture she sent me. You're like, holy shit, like. So we're waiting for the markets to open here. We got 5 minutes before the top of the hour. Look at the behavior on the dollar yen. Another thing is that a trailing, so there's so many ways to get in and out of these markets. What if we just said we're going to run trailing buy stops and sell stops, and when the market goes down, we're going to start running only buy stops, so we counter trend, enter the market. This is we just go pure technique. So if I just, on small bars only, I start putting buy stops in on small bars only, and then we get picked up on a trade. Of course, if we didn't delete this ticket, when the market comes up here, you're getting trapped on here. So I'm not going to, you have to do a cancel replace, which a robot could do, but you couldn't do this with a broker in the old days because they would fucking say, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was afraid to even talk to the broker because I thought when he hears what I want to do, he's going to go, what the fuck? What are you, fucking idiot? Like, so that was very embarrassing. It was to trade where you call on the phone is cancel replace again. You want to move your buy stop down? Dude, just pick a fuck. This is what the guy, these guys are tough. Dude, pick a trade. Okay, we got all day here to fucking cancel, replace. They don't. The broker wouldn't make any money unless the ticket's filled. So I always traded the market because I felt bad for these brokers. Like, poor guy. Shit, fuck here. I just hear it. Yeah, give me the market. Plus, I want to look like a big shot. Like, I just get in the market. I just know where it's going. I don't know what to tell you. How do you do it? I just get into the market. Hey, no nonsense forex guys show me how to do it. At 1:40 p.m., I look at the chart and I'm like, this ain't going nowhere. Let's get in. In fact, I'm going to sell here at the end of the day. If we go down here, I'm selling. And you might make money, actually. Keep selling into that. It doesn't matter where you get in. It's going down. Okay. So I would martingale in here. Yeah, I would go super fucking full retard. Right here, I would go insane at the 100-yard line. I should get rid of the 10-pip grid. Now, that's another thing. If you're just trying to make 10 pips, it's a different world. You could have sold here on this rally without breaking a rule. You sell if it's going up. You run a very tight stop. You make an assumption that you're in a downtrend. It just shouldn't be that hard. But as soon as you say, well, I don't know, my moving average is here, but on the long 100-period moving average, we're in an uptrend. I'm kind of confused. Which trend should I trade? And look at the limit, guys, are getting filled right now. Just before the top of the hour, it's a conspiracy. Is what the fuck it is. Look at the volumes kicking it. What should I do, no nonsense forex guy? Well, you should sell here because you see what's going on here is that's confirmation. Well, that's not fair because this is the 1 hour chart, so I don't know. Let's look at the daily. Let me see if no nonsense forex guy. Let me imagine. I could probably imagine the trades he's in. Let me see. On the dollar yen, he should be the daily no nonsense forex guy. Let's see, it's 5 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday. What could possibly go wrong? We got the weekend coming up. No trading in no banks open to manipulate prices on the holiday. What else? Okay, dollar yen on the daily. What is my trade plan, people? Anybody figure out my secret algorithm yet? I'm going to buy this window. And then I'm going to martingale in all the way down to here. And then when I get down here, this all next month, here I'm going to buy more yen than could ever been made. Here is the classic top become a bottom in time. This is the doji. We have that just cleanly here. It's just so obvious what's going on here. Come on. Are you a bull? Is it pulling back? Start buying. Why all the complication? Why? Just, please, my head's going to explode. I know your moving average is pointing down and you're selling too. Or no, you sold this rally and you're up on the trade. Great. We didn't make it to this window. The real eager sellers are up on the trade if they didn't get stopped out with their 100 pip stop. And they sold every 10 pip handle all the way up. I know it takes a lot of balls to put in all these orders, but look at this. This is only a 10K we're talking about. This is not a lot. Come back to here, go flat. Scalp's over. Rinse and repeat. We're probably going to come up here. Oh no, really? Yeah, we're probably going to come down here. Well, that's possible too. So why don't people trade bi-directionally? Why is everybody so biased? Well, I know because these markets aren't random. Can't you see where they're going? Yeah, but what if it comes down here and rapes all these goobers? And can't we just have the stop hunt? Yeah, if I had a PAM account, I'd have it called Stop Hunt. So everybody just know it's a limit order system. It's called the Stop Hunter. What's that EA you wrote there, son? It's called the Stop Hunter. Some guy said that he's going to invent a site called tribal. I'm right. Everybody's wrong. Tribal trader. Yeah, I think that's what everybody needs to do is completely disagree. I'm disagreeable. So, yeah, I just don't agree. And I'm angry. It's not a good combo. And compressing the data to me is such a profound way to interpret price. When you scrunch these charts down, first time I saw a chart get scrunched, I was like, wow, that changes everything big time. Like, look at this view on the daily. I'm going to try to do like that Amish trader guy. Well, let's go take a look at the daily charts here. Now, what do we see here, people? Maybe that's what I should do is have a legitimate channel where I speak more gently. Namaste. Welcome to Daily Forex. We don't rant here. We don't speak tangentially, and we complete our sentences. We have clear thoughts. This is the time in the morning. Actually, the morning is this window here on a Thursday. Jobs reports coming out. Gee, I wonder if that dollar yen's going to crush into those lines I drew. So if I'm going to swing trade it, I'm going to accumulate in this crush. I'm going to hold it. And I know that my first exit has to be the last known low. Just the last known low. We ain't worried about Fibonacci. We're not looking at this low. We're not looking at this. Well, we are probably looking at this because it's more recent than this. This one, I'd say this is one and done gone. That house has been cleaned. Whatever buy limits that you had stacked up here, you finally made it. And this is why this turns around here is because the guys that buy this shit, when it makes it back to the floor that they started buying, they get the fuck out. Now, the guys that bought this are underwater currently. Guys, and there has to be people like, I can't believe I'm the only guy trading on limits. I just can't believe it. I know most of the internet's market orders and stop entries, and I just know what I've seen is a lot of it's market order. It's confirmation. I'm going to get in now. Look at this dollar to the yen, just in pure structure terms. Try to delete moving averages from your mind a little bit. Compress the data. Ask yourself, are you trying to make 300 pips? Can you reversal trade this? Can you make, to me, the goal is to make the fastest money possible. The fastest money possible. Sure, you can do a goober entry, no nonsense Forex checklist. And on your radar, this is the radar view of trading. I have scanners, I have alerts, I know what's going on. Can you leave me alone? I'm 15 minutes a day trading. But what about, and I hate this keep repeating myself, but what about the guy that's saying, look at this interesting price here. I wonder if we ever came slamming back to, say, I don't know, just the 100-yard line. Well, the 100-yard line concept's been debunked. Okay, I'm just using it as like a place to do math and say that in 2 fucking days, I made 100 pips where it took you to sell here. To make it to here took you fucking 10 days. Who is the better trader? If you're buying this insane stop hunt and then they bid it down here and this is where you're martingaling in. Okay, this is, you save your big fat tickets. If that's what martingaling is adding to the losers that you bought here, yes, I'd say that is the only way to make a mint trading. On the daily chart, and I'm sure that even the no-nonsense Forex guy, although my fear is that he bought here And then, okay, he made just a little bit of a profit because he ran a trailing stop. That he's telling people insanely, even though he was right here, he would have sold here and he would have claimed, well, you know what, we made some money on that. Not realizing that in the midst of his refusal to perceive support being crushed out, and we never made it to this, but we did make it to that later, and that's why we got this, because of this wedge. I think this is a big deal, this area here. This is just such a big deal. And when we come into that, we rip out of it. Because it's insane. It's unfair inside of the bigger fair. If the bigger fair is here. So this is why. And it's a stop hunt for a lot of people. Initially, it would take this stop out, this floor, and did a 100 pip crush. Of course, with the guy with the 200 pip stop, this ticket at this pivot eventually became a winner. Right? So it's coming off of this on close. It's coming off of okay. So I'm just talking about all the traders that are involved in here that are winning. The smart money trades that would have been either traded at the end of the day, where here you're trading against, no nonsense. You're selling because it's up. You're hopefully short on limits on a 10 pip grid. These are not high risk trade. I mean, if you just traded at risk $10 a trade to make 20 or 30, right? This is your risk plan. You're risking $10 a trade and you're putting 10Ks in this window. You go to the next currency pair, you do rinse and repeat. Here, you're going to put in orders here. For this possible, and this is months in, this is a whole month you had to wait to get filled here. And you don't need an indicator for that because the market has already laid why is this so difficult for people to get? The no-nonsense Forex people. Or maybe that's how he does trade. And he's just like, I don't know, this is a goof. I just want to try to help people and lower their... Right, I guess this would be... If you gave it to the no-nonsense Forex guy, it's up, he's buying. He was right. He bought more. He was right. He was really, really right eventually. No-nonsense Forex entry. It's up, you buy. Fantastic trade. But maybe this is a place to add. Maybe the insane, the best prices you could get were right here because of this window. That's the buy window. This is not a very good buy window. And here's what's also difficult to deal with is that all of a sudden the pullbacks are only 30 pips and they make more fucking pips than this was a bigger risk, even though the pattern is still the same. This is a different kind of stop hunt. And it also took out this. This is a daily chart, so this is a big deal, this price. Never got to here. Never filled it, but this wedge is revisited, the apex of that triangle. This is the big pivot. This is also the confirmation on people that do the confirmation of coming back to the breakout point here is the place that people will make a lot of money also. That's the only confirmation I would need is that. Also, we could place buy limits here, but of course we'd have to wait till the market's up here to put the buy limit in here. And here you can see that they annihilated you. It went crushing down. It wasn't until further out in space that we finally did break out this wick, trap these people. The scalpers ride it back, and the breakout traders pick up the ball. So you can see who's involved and each price pulse. Who's the winners that are involved? I'm only speaking of winning traders on 3 different levels: stop entry, market orders, and limit orders. Who the limit guys, if you had to trade limits only, which is a completely different way of thinking about the market, because if you're forced to limit order entry, now you have to think of more concern about, well, where am I going to put that ticket? Whereas if you trade end of the market radar trading, which is apparently what this guy's doing, is just you come up to the chart, you look at it for 15 minutes, and you go, okay, there's nothing. Go back to sleep. But if you're watching the thing all day long, and you have some clue as to, well, what's the rate of change, what's possible today, I would just look at this thing and go, okay, let's just throw some buy limits in this thing and walk away. Ain't nothing. There's nothing to see here, people. And of course, I might not even get filled. And if I do, it's going to be kind of a, like, it's going to be a nice surprise. And I would look at it from that standpoint. Also, No Nonsense Forex guy was talking about, well, here's my thing. I'd like to see what I'm in. I'm not going to get into anything till I get into something. I mean, this is just mind-blowing. I don't know how this guy's making any money. Honestly, if you do have this holy grail that you built, and then you're going to say dumb shit like, well, I'm not going to get into the euro because then I'm heavily loaded in these. Okay, this is another thing. I don't get it. Like, how can this make any sense? If you wrote the holy grail, and then you're going to tell me, well, when I get a long euro and a long euro to New Zealand, a long euro still, I'm overloaded. You're overloaded? I thought you just spent all this time and you worked so hard 10 years to build the Holy Grail, and you're not going to give it away, and you're not going to show it, and you're not going to sell it, you're not going to show it to anybody. But it's not good enough to be reliable. And I can't trade it with all the. I mean, when you get a British pound trade signal, at least with my Goober 4-period moving average system, given the right time frame. Time frame matters if you built a fucking curve fitted system, which any MACD is curve fitted to that interval. There's no getting around this logic. You can't Democrat your way through it. You can't put on your liberal utopian hat. The market won't stand for that kind of bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Yes, you can tell me, oh, I got in here and I'm up on this trade, but I guess so, have at it. But it's not how to maximize what's going on here. And you're acting like you're going to live for another 100 years. Don't you just want to want to get rich quick? Well, you can't. They say you can't do that, but you can. See, you can do that, and it's disturbing that you can. Because if you can blow up an account quickly, why couldn't you? So the first Forex account, I didn't even know. I never saw Forex. And I just started pulling the trigger, and I was buying the British pound as it was going down. It's like 2008 or something like this. I don't know when it was melting down. 2007. I can't remember my first, but it was a demo account, and I just kept wiping it out. It was literally a $50,000 account, and I opened up 8 demos in 2 days. I stayed up all night, and I just didn't even know that I could change the size on the ticket. It was set at standard lots, and I trade without stops on the British pound as it collapsed. It's going down 500 pips a day, and I have no clue. I'm in a demo at this point. I was like, what in the fuck is this? When is this bitch going to bounce? For instance, the dollar yen here, it was this situation where I'm in a demo, and I'm just keep buying, and I'm like, you mean to tell me if I was on the other side of that trade, I would have made like an ungodly amount of money. And do you really think the no-nonsense Forex guy's system could fit here on the daily and take advantage of this move? which is a complete reversal from the top of this. Like, how are you missing this move and not saying, if this is the most dramatic move on the chart, other than maybe this leap and then this leap, this is also a very nice trade here. All these, I suppose, even from the reversal standpoint. So you can see everybody's winning trade. In hindsight, but in foresight, we know that we need to start buying here on the pullbacks. And this is our target if we're a bull. If we're a bear, we start selling above here. This is as simple as that. Even the guy at Trader's Way will say that. Yeah, there's people that will sell up here and people that will buy down there. Great, put the orders in, close down the stream. We're done. Trading's very boring. It's just very, 15 minutes a day, I guess, right? It's so boring that you probably don't want to expose yourself more than 15 minutes a day. When the market dropped below this wick here, I think this was amazing. And this just is a proof in the pudding that if you bought every 10 pips here with a 200 pip stop on the daily, that is an insane. And then you could have scalped out of the whole thing here. Or you could have rode it for a run here, and you could have said, I'm going to put sell limits in here, I'm going to trade it back to here, and you could have all that shit laid out. Of course you're going to sell up here, but we're closer to here than we are to here right now, so now we'd put in buy limits, and then if we went up here, we put in sell limits on the wicks. And if we're going to run a trailing buy stop, cancel, replace every hour, we put in the buy stop here on the top of the last day. I can't get the fucking chart, but you see what I'm talking about right here. I can't draw past that point for some reason. Here would have been the buy stop compression, right? When they blow off this 4 into this window, right? There's scalpers that do come in here. You can kind of just see it barely. Okay, right here. Let's just take a look. Let me try to drill down on here, but so who is up on this trade is the guy that had the sell limits here. All the way to here. He didn't get filled. He probably wanted to sell here. Who wouldn't, right? Who wouldn't want to sell as high as they possibly could for a complete reversal? So there is a way to trade reversals. Now we have the buy limits here. Buy limit, buy limit, buy limit. Hoping they can stop hunt this guy, can pick up his ticket. I'm assuming that we're going up. Just like I would have assumed here, we're going up. And I put my trailing buy limits, no fill here. And this is a 20 pip window where this is not even, we have not made a lower low. So here's the first time that the money management bots have taken this trade off the table. The guy, I'm just going to say there's one person that maybe bought here, here, and they would have probably, since this only lasted, strangely enough, one day, they're out on the scalp. If they do a rinse and repeat and they say, I'm going to come in with the exact same trade plan all over again, on this day, they're hitting these tickets and they have more money to trade and they're going to keep buying every dead cat bounce. Here they're going to get in very heavy, but here's where they really get in. In this one, they buy more than these. So this one across to here is a big ticket, and hopefully they had martingaled in this window. So you're adding to the loser, adding. And this is very psychologically demanding to go against this giant crush. You're completely going against the no-nonsense Forex guy. There's no fucking way he is going to buy here. If anything, that's his sell signal. His sell signal would have been here. Or let's say here, it's down. It's below my baseline. I'm selling. And he's going to say, I made all these pips. And when he ran his trailing stop, and you can see that he wasn't alone. And this is another thing I think that causes the market to do what it does is that all this pressure here from all the very conservative robots and people have just taken their scheme and put it into a robot. And wow, once we tag that thing, look at this thing rip. And right here, there's probably a little bit of a scalp there because it does come back. But this is a different world. This world of what's going on here is different than the world of people buying this. They're both making money because their technique of entry into this window. The limit guys are genius to get in like this. The stop guys, total confirmation retracement system. And then their robot, if it's true they're getting in with that logic, they're getting out with the same logic. The trailing stops come in, they get stopped out, they've made X. Okay. But how often do you see smooth data like that? If you do a cancel replace, and I'm not even talking about making these tickets bigger and martingaling in here and getting in fatter because the volatility is drying up, you can trade heavier during small volatility days. Here you can trade bigger. I'm not going to trade big on this day because it's up so hard. I'm going to sell with a wide stop, but I'm not going to go long big. I'm not going to go with the market big because my exposure for that thing to come back. If I did a no-nonsense Forex confirmation entry where this is down, I know how he trades now. This is down, he's going to get in. He's going to go short. His moving averages have crossed over. His holy grail system said sell here. Don't forget this is resistance even for a resistance goober. And something goes terribly wrong here, and they rip his face off because the guy that bought on limits maybe overtook him size-wise. Okay, so maybe this is the depth of market view of the world. We have all the guys that are buying this lonely wick or this little thing here. They're like, dude, we are going to load up so fucking hard in here. It's going to blow your mind. They see the trend as this. Here's your short-term moving averages. Say it's down. That's got to be a conflict. Like I said, unless you're going to hunt, scan for the time frame you should be trading based on the insane criteria that you created. 14 period ATRs and laggy shit like that. Yeah, you better, I'd say drop down to the 4-hour chart and try to get some fucking work done. But, that might be too much. And if the signals aren't coming in frequently enough, and we also don't hear from no-nonsense Forex guy, what is he doing, one trade a year? What is this guy, fucking 2 years old? He's going to live, like, I get that he's young, but I don't know, I guess once you figure out the game, it's like once you know how to play a guitar, you're like when you go to a guitar store, you're like, well, let me play let me see that thing. But if you never played guitar before and you go to the guitar store, you're kind of looking at it going, well, that one looks pretty. That's pretty looking guitar. I like that moving average you done there. You should really pretty. So people are like, God, charts look so fucking rugged. Yeah, it's just so rugged. I mean, it's just closing price on top of the range, but boy, once I got used to it, look at this. They're coming into my buy limits. I'm going to hunt some stops today. So there I'm going to buy lightly. Here I'm going to buy very heavily. And this is my trade plan for all next week. Today and all next week on the dollar yen. Case closed. Here I'm holding the dollar CAD through this stop hunt. And fuck the color of the cloud. Also, I'm going to go for the cloud that I like. This is the buy. This is the curve fitting. I'm going to go to the one that fits. The setup should appear on the time frame. If you're going to do this thing this guy's doing, this no-nonsense Forex guy, I just don't even know how people are doing it. You've got to switch time frames. Right, look at how glorious the 4-period moving average is on the. It's glorious on the monthly, but still the monthly goes chop. Kind of whipsawed here. We can expect a lot of that after this astounding. Look at this move. 2012 to 2015. Unfucking believable. Then it's going sideways. It's crazy. Here's a nice structure. Cloud. 4-period moving average is so fast that on the monthly, good fit. Daily, good fit. But you'd have to really scan for, like you're going to see it in a second. You'd see it at a glance. You wouldn't have this checklist like the Goober has. No nonsense. Goober's got like, well, what's the thing here? And like, gonna look at the news and see if there's any news. And why in the fuck would that matter? I mean, is he strictly gonna pull the trigger at 1:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? Well, that's what we do here. We get into the market. Now, if there's news, we don't do that. Yeah, I guess because if FXCM's coming out, the Open Market Committee's announcements in 20 minutes. Yeah, I get that. But look, this is why, well, he trades at the market. There you go. It's a whole different world if you're going to be a market maker theorist of going contrarian on limits as opposed to chasing at the market. That's got to be a completely different. The time frame, those both people could make money, but obviously the other guy's taking against his trade, and there are people that can make money. They're simultaneously making money. Like I'm handing it off to the market order guys. Like when the market heats up, people that trade breakouts are probably out. They're like, holy shit, there's nothing to trade here. I'm out. Like there's no setup that's even possible after what it just blew up. So after the news, there's no way they're getting in right after the news. When it settles down and you get an inside bar, yeah, you could trade your breakout plans after the dust settles, but the limit guys and the breakout guys have already feasted on it. If the stops are stacking up into the news, and I haven't done this experiment, but say I was to launch buy stops and sell stops on 4 currency pairs just before the news, with good ratios non-directionally, I bet it makes money. Okay, I did it with real money a couple times, and it did pretty good. But the thing is that it has to fit that currency pair like dead on. You cannot have this thought that it doesn't matter, that one instrument spread doesn't matter. And just because the pattern looks gorgeous, that's because it's bid-only prices you're looking at on your chart. Another big fallacy is that the slippage is the fact that there is spread. That is your slippage. Same thing. It's like, oh, it looks great here. Yeah, this is only these prices are fake for the buyers. These are sell-only prices. When the people talk about these outlandish, look at this thing coming into my buy limit banks. So yeah, why babysit this dumb fucking trade? And what if it does crush this out? And what if it does stop me out? Well, what the fuck? I'm buying more here. So it's the pyramid of martingale. Yeah, I'm gonna buy, and then here I'm just gonna buy like just tremendous amounts all the way down to here. All next week. It's very easy. I wouldn't even bother going to the 4-hour chart. Right, because 4-hour chart's going to be like, okay, fuck, I missed this here. I would have sold the market right there. It's up. I think it's going down. I'm going to sell against I'm going to sell. That's a pullback into the downtrend. Now here I would get in earlier because I see this now. I don't see that on the daily. Buy stop if we get a small bar buy stop, and would you put a buy stop and a sell stop here and follow strictly your breakout plan? That's a maybe, right? Because what if you do break out of this narrow range and now you start to go and trigger all these stops? So yeah, you can be the stop. You can be just riding into this and just like when they clean house, as they're going down, you could run buy stops above too. So there's a way to sandwich the market. I'm just surprised people aren't talking about how to get in. This was just astounding to me. Well, but the question's answered at the market end of the day by No Nonsense Century. I'm just curious about when we get down here, and if I really load up here, so here I'm going to buy way more. On the 4-hour chart, it's going to be denser ticket banks. And I can put in higher detail. I can put in my big fat tickets here, and here I can dedicate this whole window which exists on the daily. So if I did do a time frame overlay, I guess, and this would be by hand, this would take more than 15 minutes a day, I think. This isn't like looking at a radar heat map and saying, oh, I think I'm going to get in here because of that. This would be like a real painstaking thing. Because you'd have to change colors here and say, well, I'm going to get in on the daily. I'm going to make that a different color. This rectangle will be, say, blue on the dailies. And then I'm going to try to organize that with the 4-hour stop hunts. You know, if I could just get this to highlight. Okay, so, and then I'm going to make this deep sky blue. So that's my dailies. So the daily stop hunt looks like this. And this ticket lasts, this order bank would last into the future. If I go to the, keeping the scale exactly the same here, I'm just trying to make, say, 30 pips. I can see, here's the daily floor. So that pullback, the guy that has the trailing stop on the daily didn't get hunted out. And maybe he added on the 4-hour shallow pullback in anticipation of us breaking this out and taking out the high of the week, which we did. And the scalpers grabbed this rooftop on the 4-hour, pulled it back to here. So what's going on now? They're going to crush it probably. So I'm going to put the swing trades in here with the wide stops. Oh, wrong color. That's supposed to be for the daily. I'm trying to be organized. Like no nonsense Forex guy. This would be my 4-hour tickets. My dailies start at this blue line. So they're overlapped. I think I'm going to put orders in here. So this is going to be my daily. These last all day, and I'm going to say, I'm just going to use this arbitrary closing price as another excuse to put tickets in. So you need excuses. This is like a 4-pip window. At the end of the 4 hours, I will buy at the market here. Using a market order with probably a tight stop, maybe here. But then to contradict that, and naturally this is where it becomes disturbing for people that can't compromise, is that, yes, I realize I'm buying at the market and stop here, and I realize I'm going to buy in limits interwoven in that same area. I'm going to buy with limits, but I don't know the velocity of that, and in other words, I have to take it on a blow-by-blow basis. If I'm awake 24 hours a day and I do have the opportunity to pull the trigger here at the market, I would have bought at the market here. I'd already be long on that giant down bar. Now the rest of it, maybe I donate everything to limits here, and then I get in very, very heavy here, and very heavy here, and that's the 4-hour chart, which looks more conceivable for that to happen. And it also makes sense on the daily. So does it make sense on the weekly? Well, it looks insane on the weekly. You're like, are you kidding me? Are you really going to buy that close to the market? Yeah, I'm buy down. All in the weekly, you're like, holy shit, man, why didn't we sell up here? Oh my God, maybe we should sell where it's high. Why didn't we buy this when they took out that? Wow, look at this slot here. And the breakout traders are a little underwater right now, but they did well on that initial burst. Even the breakout traders that so if you are trading the breakout on the weekly, don't forget that strategy worked for a little bit until it engulfed, right? They were hunting those stops and you were riding the stop hunt, but you got to know when the hunt's over, it's going to turn on a Doberman like you. All this stuff, you'd plan these trades out. I can outdo No Nonsense Forex Guy. You know how? On Sunday night. All right, I come in the market on Sunday night. At this point right here, okay, this is how easy it is to out-trade this guy from a reversal standpoint. This is Sunday night. And this is after the market goes down, using his confirmation, the market goes down, which makes this a top. If I sell above here, of course, I'm not going to sell. I'm going to do it on limits. And I'm going to put a 10 pip grid in there. I'm going to sell every 10 pips I'm selling into that. By this time, this ticket that was underwater, it's finally a winner. And I just didn't even have to look at this thing till Friday. And if I ride this, maybe we're going to take this out by the end of the week. And I will have sold into this top and traded a reversal and made money. I'm sure No Nonsense Forex Guy bought here on the volume spike, right? Volume confirmed the move. He gets in. He rides it to here. He has his trailing stop. He makes money. But I think we could do better if we add to, you could trade at the market, right? You could trade on confirmation. That's when he's getting in, literally. He's literally getting in. So this is interesting because that kind of reveals the simpleness. In other words, his entry is kind of, I'm just going to say the guy's using 300 pip stops. There's no other way around it. 1% of an account, that account has to be sized to make that 300 pips. So you have to backward engineer the risk, which is another thing that's just mind-blowing that people aren't talking about. I'm risking 1% of my account. Okay, but how big is the account? And does the market care about the size of your account? I don't think so. I think it just sees pips. Okay, we're coming into the buy window now. The trend traders are riding this, and they're running their trailing stops. We can see their money management for tight money management. If you're going to do the ATR trailing stop or the Renko, which No Nonsense Forex recommends the Renko or the Akanashi for trailing stops only. It looks like this. Oh, I'm winning. Look at me. This is also, he's only scaling out a half of the position, I think. So he gets out a half. He doesn't scale in, and then he's going to, do the old free trade concept, which is also a joke, where you're going to move that thing to break even. I mean, these kind of moves here where as this goes up, you sell more. It goes against everything in your mind and heart. Everything you were told not to martingale into this top. But holy shit. These tickets that are in fat, they're cashed out to here. You're basically flat at this point. You could be flat at this point. You could have said, I can't fucking believe how much I sold up into that. That's fucking insane. And look at this thing. Of course, it did take a long time. And this is another problem, is this is not a get rich quick. This was the get rich quick. This is the get rich slow plan because, it dripped all the way back and finally engulfed. And now they're going to go after this. But now that trade plan's one and done. That is a top that will exist foreverville. So we'd be selling up there, and we're going to buy this whole plunge in here. This is my trade. Yes, I just got filled on my first ticket. Don't forget, I already bought at the market, so I have to have enough dry powder for this scenario. Then we come to here, we get the fuck out. It's a one and done. It is one price pulse. We could hold some of that position, and hopefully it's going to, in the long run, keep going north. So, I suppose that you could trade in the background for a hobby. You could trade no-nonsense Forex system, but if you really want to rape the market, and he says stuff like, that's so corny, like, if you're going to go up against a $2 trillion, $5 trillion market, if you're going to go up against these big boys, you better be well armed. What kind of fucking dude, they don't even know you exist. Yeah, well, if you break out, the one thing you want to do is not hang out where the popular kids hang out, because, those are the places they're going to come get you. They know you're there. How much drugs did this guy do to end up that fucking paranoid? Don't you see what's going on? Oh, here comes the stop hunt raid. Jobs report's coming out. Oh, this is the pre-news jobs report, and then it's going to rip north. That's my scenario. It's going to drip down and rip north. Or is it going to rip down and drift north? I'll take either one of those scenarios. Dollar yen trade. A lot of reasons to buy low. In anticipation of selling high. Okay, now we're filling the limits. I'm sleeping at this point. I like to sit back and watch my limits fill. I watch the stop hunt. I'm not willing to ride into that, so I'm not that guy. Okay, just got filled on my first ticket. Looks like the ask made it below that, or I could just be a little bit less strict. If I go for the closing entry, it's going to be I will buy below this line, which is more risky, or this takes more punishment. Also, I can, I could have got long here at the market, this big sell-off. Now, if I'm really bullish, I'm going to take this, and this is going to be my fatter ticket. Like if I bought a 1K at the market, and then I'm just going to start to stream tickets down here. And I'm not going to buy this rally, right? I only buy if it's down, so I bought here at the market. And now I'm really kind of committed to, wow, I need to buy even more here, and I just need to buy tons here at the 100-yard line, just tons. And here I'm going to buy 3 tons, and here I'm going to buy 100 tons. That's just how I see it. I mean, I can't see another choice here. There's nothing I can do about it. And I would just go to sleep. And then wake up and say, okay. Dollar CAD's still playing out. They're going to crush. If Dollar CAD goes up, New Zealand, US is going down. And I'm not going to sell this at this point, although this is going to be probably quite a brutal ride. If we take out the low of last year, we're talking about this possibly coming unwrapped very quickly. But once again, I'm a total buyer in this window for 200 pips. Here I'm going to buy even more. So on the way to this, I buy here, but then I really load up here. It's all predetermined. I'm a contrarian. What can I tell you? I'm buying this pullback here. trying to think about scaling out of this. I'll definitely be selling up here for a 100 pip window. So the non-directional breakout traders here kind of got a little chopped. Like I said, the limit traders kicked their ass. So we can see who's getting their ass handed to them. The breakout traders on this daily chart are just getting annihilated. This is just an amazing sell-off. That's just mind-blowing. And the guy that bought that is up right now if he didn't get stopped out at the 100-yard line this window. Look at this thing cut north. This one pissed off currency. I guess you can make the correlation if the dollar CAD's going up that the dollar yen should go up and you should buy this, and that would be the fun. That would be the view that there is currently this sinking between the dollar. And that's making crude go down. As you go from currency to currency, you could say that, but it also would mean that you would have to sell crude here at the double top on the daily and orchestrate all these things and seeing it all unfold. But some, if you actually do that trade, which I've done, you don't know where your profits are coming from, and you see a giant spike in your profits or a giant loss, and you're like, God, I gotta track down what the fuck is that. And that is, I guess, why you would, like No Nonsense Forex guy says, you're not going to want to get in one trade at a time. But that I wouldn't do it for the fact that I wouldn't know which is really the best trade, and should I just get that one? Should I just get out of that one? That's the one that's causing, or is my equity actually up and I'm actually losing on some other trades that I should have got out of? I'm overall up, but God, look at that dumb fucking trade I took. What the fuck was I thinking? Look at New Zealand get crushed. The yen's just crushing it. You know why this is selling off. Ever since that mosque was bombed and people are like, dude, you guys are kidding. People are leaving. They're scattering New Zealand because it's a fucking socialist. It's the next thing. It's the Venezuelan domino effect. Australia's next with the buildings falling down. Look at that euro rip the head off the pound. And here's our scalp, right? We already knew this. I marked that window off days ago. I said this little rooftop here and here. I don't know if we made it here. But look at this. I mean, look at how tight that entry is. I don't even think they hit it. Jesus. But this was the window right here, this top. Anywhere above here now, the really super aggressive people had their sell limits start here without regard to that very wick tip, and they are currently up on the trade. If they didn't get kicked out, this is a 50 pip 100 here in the big black and then 50 in this thing, so this is like a 50 pip grid. Euro to the had another dumb shit fucking buy this low window here auction. Just set it and forget it trading, man. I mean, yeah, you only made 50 pips here with a 50 pip stop. You're getting out of that trade right now. You could hide it through the engulf. And are we coming back to here? Okay. So this is just structured trading, just boring stuff. No moving average needed. Completely different style. Here you would have been up on this trade and up and out. You know, you're buying this new low. You made yourself 150 pips if you traded it to this resistance. Bottoms become tops on the wicks, especially on a weekly. Huge time frame here, kind of another lazy trade. When you compress the data here, you start to have different thoughts about, well, it's kind of in a downtrend. I don't know if I take that trade. See, this is what kind of surprised me, is that I would change my opinion on the trade when I put more data on there as opposed to just this much. And of course, if I went to the monthly, I'd be like, holy shit. That's the scalp window. So that's the scalp on the monthly, and on the daily, it looks like, holy shit. That's scary looking on the daily. You mean, see, but there's more opportunity on the daily because you would have bought this window here. The dead cat bounced. CAD yen, by the way, a whole new currency pair with the same story. Bottom become top in time. Scalpers get out here. They make the easy few bucks. Then here comes the other limit traders that run that. Also, the people that do sell at the market in a supposed downtrend are winning. I'm just talking about the winning traders. They sell, and then here's the final plunge, and here comes the people trading against them, cleaning house and getting in martingale at the 100-yard line and making 150 pips all the way back to this rooftop. It's already written in stone, and this window is the shallow window here is the critical thing because that is the wedge. That is what's causing the reaction. These wedges here, this is like a big deal. It's also the 100 pip yard line, amazingly. And yes, I'd be buying right now all the way down into that on limits. Okay, another, this traded last, 5 days or some shit. Goes down for 5 days, goes up 5 days. We survive the swing. We survive going underwater. A lot of people don't like that feeling of being underwater. I'm going to take off the cloud. I guess you can go with the cloud here. It's a buy, right? It's a hold, maybe. You should have bought this new low. No need for confirmation. You see this low. If you're running 100 pip stops, you're just going to buy that. You're a swing trader. It's just that simple. Sure, it could keep tanking, right? You could have bought this, but this is actually now, if you started buying here, that is at break even. That's why the market pivoted here, because once these guys bought this, right? Here is the scalpers into the floor. Then here comes the other guys. They take the ball, and even the trend traders were right. Their blue cloud was working. Here is a bottom become a top and a blue cloud, but guess what? At some point, the gravy train's going to stop, and it finally stops down here. Right, this is the bottom become the top of the cloud. This is the cherry-picked entry. Here is the no-nonsense Forex utopian entry. Although, I'm sorry, he would get in here, 1 bar. Right, he gets in here. Confirmation, it's going down. Right, he doesn't get the deep discount. He don't trade top become bottom. He can't see it. Herm can't see that. This looks like we really are going to rip north. Like we're just going to clean house now. Because this vacuum that's lingering behind is too much. And we can claim trend trader status there. We're trend traders, damn it. Can't you see what we're doing here? I mean, shut the fuck up, simpleton. Can't you see we're trend traders? We trade no reversals. What do you think, you're a cowboy? What are you, some kind of cowboy? This is going to tank. I kind of felt this was going to tank because some guy was calling for this thing to go up. Nope. Sorry, Charlie. You got trapped, and this isn't about China, man. This is about that. That's a trap. And looks like they're going to take it all the way back to here now. Hang Seng obliterated in this window. We came up into this floor. Forget it. Ain't going to happen. You left all this price behind. I might lose my power here in a minute. So, look at all this, ripe for the pick. Just plunge into that. God, that's just ripe for the pickings. S&P 500. Oh, jeez. Here, let me use this. Oh, fuck. That looks more bullish. But it's pulling back, but that was the trap at the top of that. Hopefully people can see that. In the long term, in the monthly, it's very bullish. Finally here, I think people have gotten out of the Bitcoin. The Dash coins had its climax. This is the big sell window, anything above here. And this guy is the guy that sold that early window did cash out. They overshot his target, which would have been here, the scalper's exit. Didn't make it back to here to get in. Now people are buying this, right, on limits. Notice how everything's kind of doing the same thing in a way here. Looks like this is the buyer's window. Same story across the board. We see the same thing happening in the whole crypto world. This is still the big obstacle for this. But the seller's window is here. They came in, they grabbed it, pulled it back to the breakout point. The confirmation traders came in here. At this double top become a bottom. They ride it to here. They get trapped by the guys that sell new highs. They're very bullish at this point. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, people are bullish here. And yeah, the people that are the evil bankers are selling the top of that. They're basically fucking you. They're ruining your party. The Bitcoin has satisfied the window, and it looks like buyers could come back in here. I'm a buyer here in Bitcoin, so I'm going to put my order in banks in here, step away. It's getting kind of scary for the bears, though. Because we've seen this before where it just pulls back a little bit and then starts ripping north again. And it's going to have a problem here. It's going to have a problem here. And it really is gotten ahead of itself. It has to catch up to itself. So it certainly triggered a lot of moving averages, I'm sure. So all the goobers are on their scanners looking for an entry. Here I'm buying this window. I already think I said that. Here I'd be selling into this window on euro to the pound all the way to this floor. That's a no-brainer. Sell. Scatter the tickets. Got to trade wide on that. This looks like they're just going to annihilate this. This is total. I'm going to have to run 200 pip stops on that. That thing's brutally tanking now. Here's pound New Zealand. It seems to be holding up fairly well into this triple top. And the scalpers, the dead cat bouncers, have made some money here. Very quickly, actually. So on these daily stop hunts, this is quick and dirty money here, where you got this shelf and they hit it, and then look at this spike, and then they rape into this window. So very choppy. This really you have to trade. I swear, if you trade this on limits, this currency pair, look at the spread, sucks. That's why it's choppy. And this is why it looks really golden, but it still is a 3 pip to maybe 5, depending on your broker. So running a 100 pip stop on this, you nearly have to on this range trading, but you're making 400 pips range trading this thing. I know people like to brag about pips. The spread reflects that, but look at this thing. Are you kidding me? This to this, look at this entry here. Holy shit. Very dramatic currency pairs. Look at, here's your measured move. You're just utopian trade. You see that all the time. Boom, boom. Not all the time. When you see that, you're like, look at this fucking thing. Trap here. Pull it back. Trap these guys. Trap to trap. On the dailies, I'm buying here on limits. If I think this is in a downtrend, I'm going to run shallow 50 pip limit windows. Ride this for 200 pips down. The spread's 3. On a shit broker, the spread's 10. When the news comes out, in Asia, the spread might go to fucking an ungodly amount, right? So if this was Asian session, but this is the morning here, so we already went long here on our limits for the day in this currency pair. We were already filled. In fact, we could have put those orders in at the beginning of the week. We could have put buy limits in here. I'm sorry, at the beginning. We could have put buy limits in here. We finally made money on that trade. We had to endure 300 pips of punishment. Here we could have had the orders in. When the market was here, we could have put buy limits here. How'd that trade work out? Took a long time to fill. We didn't think we was going to be able to wait that long. Especially with this slow pullback. I mean, this is where this slow pullback. Are you trading that ride down and getting it on sell limits? Are you trading breakouts of small bars and doing, here I guess you got whipsawed, or non-directional traders made money on that one. Nice clean break to the upside. In that one instance, in that one cherry-picked example here, the breakout traders that trade low volatility breakout non-directionally made so much money. But if they came in and also employed the limit traders trade plan, they really cleaned up. They went from breakout to limit, back all the way down into fair value. And after this, when the market was here, you could have still have your pending buy limits here. You'd still have your pending buy limits here. So if you could handle the spread on this, you'd be swing trading it for 300 pips though. It wouldn't matter, right? The spread doesn't matter if you have a 300 pip stop. The further you can get away from that. But if this was a 10 pip grid, it would be a whole different world for how you would make money, and you could make the same amount of money a swing trader is making dollar wise. And maybe you find that more exciting than this kind of weekly charts, monthly charts. Well, look at this and look at that, and wow, you know. Okay, so let me just go to the end of this thing. I want to take a look at that dollar yen here, see if I'm getting filled. Of course, I would see that on my equity. I'd have to go to the chart to see how I'm getting. Oh, so I'm getting filled here. So perfect. So I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to let that fill and see how it works out.